agenda.
Yes,
Sir.
yes, Mr. Mayor, I did email the council, add on item number 1, which is a hard copy on the dais before everyone, to be added to the agenda.
Add on copy number 1. The
It
new,
was sponsored by Councilman David Williams.
somebody give it to me. Okay, your microphone has to be, why do you have 2 microphones? Okay, yeah, if you want, well, first of all, it has to be added on, so are you moving that onto the agenda?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Where are we putting it at in? It's a better question. It will be, I'm going to take this item out of order right after public comments. Right after public comments.
Okay.
This is the add-on. Yeah, add-on number 1. So show it as, 7.1. Okay, you all have a substitute item on, okay. Is there anything else I need to pull off?
No, there's nothing else to pull off at this time.
Okay, okay. I need a motion.
Are we asking?
Yeah, that's, yeah.
I want to pull the 11.4.
Show 11.4 pulled, the substitute item pulled by Councilwoman Odom. Okay.
And then this item.
Okay, and just so we know just how I'm going to handle the agenda this evening. I'm going to take the items that require a lot of discussion first, so that we can get them out of the way, and then we'll do the consent because it's not controversial. All right, yes,
To clarify, Mayor, so we're also going to move the quasi-judicial item, 13.1.1
13.1.1.
before consent?
I'm going to move that before consent also because that's going to be a deferral.
Okay.
All right. I need a motion.
Motion. Second.
It's been moved and seconded we approve the agenda as amended. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed show the agenda approved. There's no presentation. Okay, we're now on public comments. Public comment is now open. I have the cards. As I call your name, please approach the podium. You have 2 minutes. Be sure to say your name and your address. And please, everyone, if you could just check your phones and turn off your telephones to make sure they're on vibrate. I know we all think we put it on vibrate, but it rings every time, so somebody probably didn't. If you could just check, it'd be great. Thank you. Vanessa Wilcox.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, Vice Mayor. I'm Vanessa Wilcox. I reside at 2000 Northwest 186th Street. I'm here tonight to get your attention about overlooking and dragging on things that need to be addressed. First of all, I'm going to start off by speaking this verse of Isaiah 10, which says, "You are doomed. You make unjustly laws to oppress my people. This is how you keep the poor from having their rights and giving justice. This is how you take the property that belongs to the widow and the orphans. What will you do when God punishes you? What will you do when disaster come onto your country? The thing that I want to address is about how you keep overlooking your elders by finding out what is really needed and what needs to be done. Stop ignoring the Word of God. You better read it for yourself. Have a good one.
Thank you. Denise Brown. And the next person is Sharon Fraser Stevens.
Good afternoon. My name is Denise Brown. I'm the CEO and founder of RJT Foundation. I'm here to cordially invite you to our National Day of Remembrance program. In 2007, Congress designated September the 25th as the National Day of Remembrance for Murdered Victims. And as you all know, that we have lost a lot of young people and people in general in our community across Miami-Dade County to gun violence. So on that day, we have partnered with the City of Miami Gardens and other organizations throughout Miami-Dade County that are helping families and youth who are affected by gun violence and domestic violence to honor those families and the victims on that day. So I cordially invite you to attend that event. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Brown, could you leave some flyers out on the table, please, also? The next person is Nicole Betty. No, she's after you, Sharon.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, councilmen and women, city clerk, city attorney, city manager. My name is Sharon Fraser Stevens, 145 Northeast 193rd Street. If my people, which would call out my name, humble themselves, pray, turn from their evil ways, then shall they hear from the heavens. God let that hurricane sit out there for a reason. We got to clean up, Mr. Mayor and council people. I'm looking at the agenda items. I don't know if you pulled them on. I mean, you put all of them on the consent agenda. I am the chairwoman of the Opelika Miami Gardens Citizens Advisory Committee under the umbrella of Miami-Dade County. We are right now talking with the Inspector General. There's a lot of ethics violation going on in this county, from county line to Florida City. Citizen participation, for the people, by the people, of the people. You must allow the people to speak. This is not your own personal account. This belongs to the taxpayers. You guys got out there, and some of you guys are running again for another district or a state house or whatever it is. But how would you want us to be out there and listen to you when you're not governing your city like you're supposed to? Let the people speak. It's called CP, Citizen Participation. Mr. Mayor, I know you're an attorney, but you pay that lady right there, Sonia Knight Dixon, 6 figures. Dickens, I'm sorry, Miss Sonia, with all respect, ma'am, my sister, let her. She's an advisor. She advises everybody, department heads, and you too. You got to yield yourself to God's word. It's like Moses coming to Pharaoh, telling Pharaoh, hey, your people are suffering. So you got to let these people come up and speak. It's citizen participation, and thank you, and may God watch over Miami Gardens.
Madam Attorney, is our 2 minutes up? Nicole Betty.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Nicole Betty. I'm a small business owner in Miami Gardens, and I received a notice saying that they require me to have some sort of business license. Now, the issue with that is that the business licensing fees are way too high. I'm sure it was enacted sometime in 2005, and the fees are around $170 a year, and that's kind of high for a home-based business. So with home-based businesses, most of the owners are going to be residents. They're homeowners, City of Miami Gardens residents, City of Miami Gardens taxpayers. And it's a little bit too high for a home-based business to pay $170 a year if they're not even making that much per year, especially when they're considered micro businesses. This might be something that somebody runs online or, does, you know, maybe some sales at home and things like that. So they're not generating enough to pay this $170 per year cost in addition to the state licensing fees to register their business. So what I'm asking for the city council to do is to think over that fee that they're charging, to either eliminate it or reduce the fee for home-based businesses, because they are Miami Gardens residents. And they do need an opportunity to grow their business. And when you're starting a business, you usually start off in your home. So if Miami Gardens can reconsider charging the fee, or at least reducing the fee per year, because it's per year now, it's not a one-time fee, it would be beneficial for generating more employment for Miami Gardens residents, because, you know, some people, that's what their main thing is. So for me in particular, I'm starting a new business, just registered, and it's come out in the mail, this surprising fee. I didn't equate that when I started my business. I didn't know there even was one. But, you know, just to let you guys know, it is a burdensome fee for Miami Gardens residents.
Thank you. Lynette Hickenbottom. Okay. Lynette Hickenbottom. Jennifer, you're next. Are you coming up with her? Okay. Raymond Carvel, you're next.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and all the officers. My name is Lynette Hickenbottom, 20832 Northwest 25th Avenue, in the beautiful city of Miami Gardens. I'm here today also with Jennifer. We are with Lake Lucerne, and I am back again to ask what is going on with our park in Lake Lucerne. The last story I heard just before you had the hiatus is that after the summer, because they were having a summer program there, they were going to close and have the demolition and the buildings and all that, and there will be progress. I understand it's not going to happen overnight, but I haven't seen anything that looks like that, and I just got a notice. They were saying that there's going to be another program, and it's going to be through until next year of June in that building. So this is telling me, oh, well, then they're not doing that. So I want to know, because I'm mixed, confused with all the stories, and I would like to know, when are they going to give our children a proper place in the park of Lake Lucerne? And as I used the term before, we're not chopped liver.
Yes, okay.
Jennifer.
Okay, yes. Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is Jennifer Neyhofer, and I reside at 1731 Northwest 206th Street. And I am also here about the park. The last time we had a meeting, when the park people had a meeting, we came, and we found out that somehow Bennett Lifter Park fell through the crack. And we were told that there is no way for them to catch on. However, we are next in line. And I received a flyer yesterday that there's a program that they will start. Actually, it started September the 2nd till June the 4th. And I feel like we are being taken for granted. I feel like there are so many stories coming out. And I myself, as the president of the Crime Watch, every time I go back and I update them, I tell them, this is what was that, this is what was that. And now I have to go back and things are differently now. So we want to get to the bottom of this. What is happening to that park? When are we going to finally get our park? My question is, what is happening? I know I've seen some material going on the park, and I've heard that it's a new playground, but that's not what we want. We want to see a new park, just how you beautified Buccaneer Park. just how you beautified Norwood Park. That's what we voted in. That's what the bond dollars were for. That's why our taxes increased. So we want to see that park renewed. Even you came out, Mayor, a couple of years back then. You took some time out of your busy schedule. It was late at night, and you came to the Bennett Lifter Park, and we walked together in that park, and you saw the state of our park, even the tennis court. And we're still waiting, we're still asking, we're still pleading for a park. It is embarrassing. And I'm getting tired of looking at these older people in the community who have given up hope. Every time you bring up the park, they laugh. They said, I want to see it first. I want to see it first. Some people don't want to attend meetings because they are tired of hearing. They hear one thing and something else is being done.
Jennifer, thank you. The manager and his staff would love to come out to your crime watch, and they'll brief your crime watch directly regarding the update of the park. They will. But just to be clear, you don't fall through cracks. We stage construction. We stage construction. We can't build everything at once. So Bennett Lifter has never fallen through a crack. It took us a long time to actually negotiate the idea of having a pier on the water, and it takes a long time to do that stuff. So I can appreciate your impatience. I waited my entire life to do parks until I got with this council and we passed the bond to do the parks. But being impatient will not necessarily build the park faster. I know that they have an RFP out. I know that they're working on it. They'd love to come brief you all on it and exactly what the scheduling is.
It's the
Even
same
if we
people.
schedule programs for stuff, we have the ability to move stuff once we start construction, which is typically what we do. So we're going to, as soon as we can construct, we are going to. If there's a program there, we'll either move it to Norwood or Buccaneer or the community center, or Bunch will be open. We can't have everything in the city under construction at the same time. Because then there really is no place to facilitate programming. So when it's ready to go, it'll go. But they'll definitely come out and brief you all. Thank
But
you.
Mayor, that's what we heard from that we fell through the cracks. Somehow something happened and we felt that those were the words that were stated.
I don't have cracks, I just have schedules.
So that's what was stated. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. What was stated right here in this council was that stated. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Rainey.
Good evening to all elected officials, Miami Garden employees, and concerned citizens. I am Raymond Carville, the Miami Garden Neighborhood Watch President. Today is the 18th anniversary of 9/11, and as a country, we are in a much better place than we were in 2001, and that is because of the leadership of all community stepping up together and making up the difference by holding up to the responsibility to make us better and to safeguard us. We are here to thank each of you for attending our annual monthly individual crime watch prevention meeting and for taking on the initiative to provide us with a ring security system, showing us that a good tool is needed in every home under the leadership of our mayor. For this proposed first budget hearing, I'm here to encourage the city manager and our elected official to please allocate extra funds to purchase at least 1,000 ring security system for our seniors that cannot afford one. And again, I thank God for the service of all public service, especially law enforcement and first responders. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Joyce Stanley, and the next person is Janice Smith. Joyce Stanley is now up.
Good evening, everyone. This is my first visit here to this meeting, and I do live at
Just give me your name and your address. Just say it in the record.
Joyce Stanley, 1331 Northwest 195th Street, Miami, Florida, 33169.
You go.
The reason I'm here is because I received a notice about the increase in rates for the North Miami Beach water system, and I cannot understand why I live in Miami Gardens and have to pay North Miami Beach people my fees for the water, and that increase is going to be used not for Miami Gardens, but for North Miami Beach Improvement and Beautification Program. So I don't know who can tell me why we paying this money, and that money that the increase that will be coming on soon will be used by North Miami Beach.
We're going to have Vernita Nelson talk to you about that in the back of the room.
Thank
It'll
you.
be pretty clear. Thank you.
Okay.
And then if someone could brief her also on the lawsuit that we're suing North Miami Beach, if you all could brief her on that, that'd be great. Janice Smith. Helen Faye Reed is after Ms. Smith.
Good evening. I'm Janice. Good evening, and council and mayor. I'm Janice Smith. I live at 20525 Northwest 21st Avenue, Lake Lucerne. I'm here. I don't know whether you're aware of it or not, but we got winds of it before school closed, and we had a meeting at Cara City Senior High. The owners of the Dolphin Stadium are planning to bring the Formula One race in here. I know they're going to use part of the stadium, but they're going to use our streets. And we do not want that. We don't want the noise. We don't want the pollution. We don't want it. And I don't know what else is going to be done. But I'm asking all you residents to please attend New Orleans Senior High next Tuesday, because we're having a town hall meeting with our commissioner. Please be aware of that, and please attend. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. And next is Brandon Williams.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Helen Faye Reed. I live at 3010 Northwest Sophia Terrace in Miami Gardens, Florida. I resided there for the past 32 years. My concern is that European America real estate has placed luxury condominiums on 191st and 27th Avenue directly behind Aldi's. The rent is $1,850 to $2,125 a month. I'm trying to figure out who are these condominiums for, because to me it does not reflect the face of Miami Gardens where I live, and it's right around the corner from my house. The rental fee, insurance rental is over $100,000, and the landlord must be added to the renter. So I'm trying to figure out how the face, I know the face, and change is good. Change means growth. But this kind of change to me makes me feel very uncomfortable. I come home, I have notices on my door. Do you want to sell your house? We'll pay you cash. It's like we're trying to be pushed out. I'm a senior citizen, and I want to feel comfortable where I live. I have a daughter that lives with me, and she desperately wants her own place. A condominium of this nature could never suit her with these prices, because she makes a minimum wage, you know, and it's no one's fault but hers, but that is the situation. We have a lot of young people living with grandparents and living with parents because there's no affordable housing. So how can European America real estate put these kind of condominiums around the corner from my house? They are not for us. There's a complete privacy. They look like barracks to me. There's complete privacy. They're stressing privacy. So I feel that maybe they're building for other people to come in. But this is our community. This is where we live. So I feel like there should be something affordable for our people. This is my question. How did this happen?
Thank you. Nikisha, you can speak to her in the back of the room. You're up.
Hello to everyone.
Hello.
I was just here today to ask the city council to consider lighting on 17th Court.
Brandon, give us your name and your address, please.
Brandon Williams, 16501 Northwest 17th Court. So I was here today to ask the city council and anybody who could do something about it to look into putting better lighting on 17th Court. The reason we're asking for that is because I live in that area. I was born and raised in that area in Miami Gardens. And it's coming to a point where I don't feel safe leaving my wife at home, coming in the house late at night. There's been several elderly people that has been robbed at gunpoint. Younger people, older people are scared to come out of their houses at night. And I ask that anybody that cares, which I know all of you guys do, to look into adding additional lighting like Pembroke Pines or Miramar, where our residents feel safe in their environment.
Thank you. Tom Ruiz here? Brandon, Tom is going to speak with you in the back. We actually took over the lighting districts from the county so that we could actually improve the lighting. So he'll talk to give him your address and all that stuff, and he'll let you know where district you're in. All right. Gail Cunningham. Ms. Cunningham from Norland?
Yes. Good evening, councilmen, women, and mayor. I'm Gail Cunningham, address 19001 Northwest 14th Avenue Road, Miami Gardens. I'm here also to speak regarding Formula One racing. The owners of the Hard Rock Stadium are planning to bring Formula One racing to our community, and we don't want it. Please attend the Commissioner Barbara Jordan's meeting at Miami Norland Senior High School on September 17th, everyone, in order to vote no to Formula One racing. We are saying no because we want to keep our city beautiful, we want to keep it safe, and be mindful of the health of every community member here in Miami Gardens. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, if you could have somebody there to take notes and make sure it's because I know I'll be there. If any of the council members intend to come, it would be because I'm actually sponsoring the town hall. So if you all are planning to come in, we need to sunshine it. I think it's at 6:30. Yeah, so if you're planning to come. Public comment is closed.
Going on to add on item number 1, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing the city manager and the city clerk to execute and attest that partial release of mortgage, release of unity of title, change exhibits to the amended developers agreement, signed easement agreement, sewer lift station, roadway easement agreement, release of resolution, and clarifying letter to new market tax credit provider in substantial form as those exhibits attached hereto as Exhibit A, B, C, D, E, F, G, relating to the RUDG, the Commons development, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by Councilman David Williams, Jr.
Councilman Williams.
Okay. I don't know how you want to handle it, Mayor.
I mean, you can talk about the item. I have some questions about the item, so I have a lot of questions about the item.
Okay. Let me bring up the attorney.
Okay.
To talk about it. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Who you'll bring up?
Okay, Mr. Attorney, can you come in? Ms. Niesman, yep. Okay.
Good afternoon, Mayor and council persons. Annie Niesman, President and CEO of the Jesse Trice Community Health System. First of all, I want to thank all of you, and I want to thank the city staff, the manager, the assistant manager, and the attorney for helping even previously with this item. We have been anticipating building a 10,000 square foot facility at 207th and 27th Avenue now for a few years, and this council has approved all of the items that we need to do in order to be able to start construction, and this is the last particular item. And our attorney, Robert Ederman, will explain those actually four items that we need that you heard today.
Yes, Robert Erdman, attorney with Quinteros, Prieto, Wood & Boyer. Did you have specific questions about the documents?
Well, the problem with the document is that we just got it. And while I'm okay with add-on items that are fairly straightforward and are coming through staff, this is an add-on item that disposes of the city's interest permanently. And so I appreciate that you're an attorney. You know, I'm an attorney also, but with regard to interests like this, I actually don't need to hear from you. I need to hear from my attorney. And so we talked about this, and I'm uncomfortable with this item just because it is so unfamiliar to me right now. So this didn't come through our normal process where it would go through the deputy manager and then go to the manager and then go to the attorney and then come to me. This came directly to the dais. And so I don't know that anything has actually been checked. So my comfort level could only could be reached if we were to pass this. It would have to be contingent on the due process being done by the city, because ultimately we're releasing and obligating. And so I need to know exactly what that means when I'm signing my name.
You are and you're not. So the mortgage is being released off record, but Jesse Trice is still obligated to the, I see what you're saying.
And I appreciate your advice, but you're their attorney.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so what do
it's
you
like
recommend?
I have to actually get the advice, because if it goes wrong, I can't say where their attorney told me that it was okay. I have to say my attorney told me it was okay. And that's why it goes through the process that it goes through. And so when I'm on the road and I get this email, I'm like, yeah, well, we can add it on. But it's the first time, literally the first time I saw this was this morning. And so I just don't know enough about it to support it as is. And I'm sure that because I know, and this is just on the fact that I know Ms. Niesman, that I'm sure it's a good item. But I got to be real sure when I'm signing for the city. And so I think the item needs to reflect that it still needs to get the check from our city attorney and our city manager. That's what I think needs to happen. If it is what you say it is, and it's nothing, and it's ministerial, then she won't have a problem doing that. But I think that that's what it has to do. So, and I respect the fact that I'm told that you all have hardline deadlines. Then I would suspect that you all probably need to be in there working with her tomorrow morning to walk her through everything, because we need to have a sense of comfort level for the city. We have to have that comfort level. So if we can meet your deadline, I'm comfortable with that. But if we can't, ultimately, our fiduciary responsibility is to Miami Gardens. So I don't know how you deal with that. That's my concern about it, Councilman Williams. Other than that, because Ms. Niesman is Ms. Niesman, I'm comfortable with it. But for that, I need some type of security.
Okay. And are you uncomfortable with it, Mr. Attorney?
No, I'm not uncomfortable. I think I have to sign off on it for legal sufficiency. So what I'm going to do is get with staff and make sure that everything is, like, I don't do the legal descriptions. I need to make sure that what we're taking the mortgage off one piece to another piece, have to get with people, staff people, but I'm not uncomfortable with what we're doing. I understand what we're doing.
So normally when we get things, and this is for the people who think that the attorney doesn't advise us, everything that comes before me goes through a manager and an attorney, and she validates its legal sufficiency. So I never have to actually question what we're doing is right. If I get something that does not have that, it's difficult for me to sign.
Okay, so what do you suggest in the next step be on this process?
If we're going to do it, what I say we do is pass it, make it
Based on-
contingent on,
Okay.
yeah. So normally we do it, pass it and normally we pass things and give the manager the opportunity to execute and all that stuff. But this time when we give the manager the opportunity to execute, and I might actually have to sign this also because it's released from mortgage, but we have to get the attorney to actually sign off on legal sufficiency. So that's all I need.
So if there's a
I'm
motion,
clear.
is that a motion to pass this item to?
Well, we're at the move of discussion, so
Right.
I move we discuss the item.
Okay.
Second?
Second.
All right, so if we're going to, now it's in a posture that it can be amended that way. But that's the only way I could find comfort with that. So you want to add that to your item?
Okay,
Yeah, okay.
That's not a problem.
Yeah, we'll consider that. Their deadline is coming up, so they need to move quickly.
Right.
They need to come up, yeah, so they need to move quickly, so I understand that. And she's going to work with you all.
We'll get it done.
She'll get it done. So, yeah.
All right, fine.
And Mayor, if it gives you any comfort, the county has also signed off on the exact documents. So we will work with the county attorney and the staff to make sure everybody's comfortable. But thank you all very much. We're looking forward to this.
Mr. Mayor, have we made a motion or something?
I've moved it, and it's been seconded, and he has made it a part of his motion as contingent on legal sufficiency being authorized by the attorney. And so now I'm still in comments and discussion with the council. Councilwoman Wilson. I thought you had something. Did you have something? Oh, Councilman Odom. I knew it was one of y'all to my left.
Well, the reason I was having the item pulled simply because we had just gotten it. And normally when we get a document such as this, there is a staff recommendation. And I guess basically the same thing that the mayor was saying, we had no staff recommendation on this document. So which is an indication that either our city manager or the city attorney has not looked at this, and that was the problem that I was having. So, you know, and I do recall all of the information that's on here, but we need to know whether our attorney and also our city manager has approved this and that it's okay with them.
Yeah.
So I recommend that we would go on, well, I also recommend that we would go on and pass it based on the recommendation from our city manager and our attorney, especially our attorney.
Yeah. I mean, I'm familiar with the project. I know what you all are doing.
Yes.
I think it'll be a good project. But this is moving real fast. It took a long time, and now it's moving real
Right.
fast.
Right.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
It took a long time, and now it's moving real fast. So,
You know, I've come to rely very heavily on the city manager and our team over here. And they spend quite a bit of time prepping us and really doing the diligence on the materials. And sometimes in the best of situations where we want to help, it could probably put us in a vulnerable situation where we're hurt. And when you haven't done your due diligence, the accountability is tough. So I'm not familiar with the project, and I don't have the background, well, to be confident enough to, I know the work, and I know you guys do good work, and I would nothing like more than to have some of that work done here in this city. But at the same time, I have to be responsible in the way in which I vote, and I really like to sit down and have a one-to-one with them, because sometimes what they may see as okay, I don't see as okay. So, okay. I don't like passing something even on a contingency when I haven't had the chance to discuss.
no,
right?
I understand. And for Mr. Williams, Mr. Harris, Councilman Odom, and myself, and I guess Mr. Gadara, we've been here on the dais as this is matriculated through the process. So it has not been a long, we're very familiar with it at this point. But I understand your concerns because you all wouldn't have had that.
And I'm actually ready for them to get started.
I'm ready for them to actually get it done also. That's a whole nother story, but yes. All right, any other questions, comments from the dais? All right, is this a voice vote or?
This could be a voice vote, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, those opposed? Show the ayes is having it.
All right.
Mr. Vice Mayor.
The next item, updated item 11.4, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, allocating funds from the general fund account to provide Spanish and Creole classes, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by Mayor Oliver Gilbert.
Mr. Mayor?
Those things. We have to be mindful, we're getting an inordinate amount of communication, complaints about code enforcement. Look, I get it. Nobody wants to get a warning. Nobody wants to get a violation. But everybody wants to have their neighbor's house look good because they don't want to bring down the property value of their house. We can't do it with the whisper or suggestion. And so I appreciate that you think we can, but we've tried that. And this isn't saying go out and cite people. This is saying if you say you want property maintained at a certain level, this is how it is maintained. And the last thing I would just note is that we have this thing all the time, and we've seen it a couple of times today, where people want to get up and talk about the Bible. Look, I am literally as religious as the next person. Went to church every Saturday and Sunday my entire life. My favorite Bible verse, Matthew 7, 1 through 3. Judge thee and be thee not judged. That's my favorite. It's my favorite because in that Bible verse, God actually acknowledges that it ain't our place to talk about somebody going to hell or not. That's him. That's his job. Our job is to have our relationship with him and do the best we can. And we let him handle all that other stuff. That's the Christianity that I was born and raised in. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Clerk, you could read consent agenda.
All right, consent agenda. Item 11.1, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, ratifying the declaration of local emergency imposed by the mayor on August 29, 2019, due to Hurricane Dorian, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by Mayor Oliver Gilbert. Item 11.2, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, approving a 3% merit pay increase effective immediately for the city manager, city attorney, and the city clerk, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date. And this is sponsored by Mayor Oliver Gilbert. Item 11.3, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing the city manager and the city clerk to execute and attest respectively the memorandum of understanding with the Miami-Dade County State Attorney's Office, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date. And this is sponsored by Mayor Oliver Gilbert. Item 11.4, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, allocating funds from the mayor's special events account to provide Spanish and Creole class. Sorry, we did that item.
Yeah, we did that one.
Item 11.5, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, allocating funds from the Public Affairs Special Events account in an amount of $7,000 to support not-for-profit organizations, providing for adoption representation, providing effective date, and this is sponsored by Mayor Oliver Gilbert. Item 11.6, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, waiving park rental fees for Rolling Oaks Parks for the Church Alive and Wellsprings Community Resources Health and Wellness Picnic, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by Vice Mayor Rodney Iris. Item 11.7, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing sponsorship for the NAACP Miami-Dade Branch Annual Fundraising Gala in an amount of $2,000 from Councilman Leon's Public Affairs account, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by Councilman Reggie Leon. Item 11.8, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing city manager's submission of an application for the Flood Mitigation Assistance Program, authorizing the city manager to negotiate and execute an agreement along with all related documents in the grant as awarded, providing for the adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by Councilman Reggie Leon. Item 11.9, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, waiving park rental fees for Rolling Oaks Park for the Nigerian American for their annual health and wellness fair, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by Councilman Airboy Igodaro. Item 11.2, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing the city manager and the city clerk to execute and attest that certain agreement with Children's Trust contract number 2014-3010 and 2016-3010, not pro tunc to August 1, 2019, for after-school programs and summer camps attached to as Exhibit A and Exhibit B, respectively, or authorizing the city manager to negotiate and execute the Children's Trust continuing renewal contracts, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by the city manager. Item 11.11, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, expressing sympathy and support for the people of Bahamas and their government as they begin rebuilding, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by Councilman Airboy Igodaro. Item 11.2, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing the city manager and city clerk to execute and attest respectfully that certain agreement with the Office of the Attorney General for the acceptance of the Victims of Crime Act grant in the amount of $124,109,000 to provide assistance to victims of crime in the city of Miami Gardens, a copy which is attached here to is Exhibit A, authorizing the city manager to execute any and all documents required by this grant process, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date. And this is sponsored by the city manager. Item 11.13. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, accepting $2,678 grant award from the Rolling Crest Lakes, authorizing the city manager to execute and all documents related to acceptance of this award, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by the city manager. Item 11.14, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, approving amendment number 1 to the Miami-Dade County Building Better Community General Obligation Bond interlocal agreement, providing for the adoption representation, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the city manager. Item 11.15, a A resolution of the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing the city manager to execute and amend underground easement to Florida Power and Light Company in a substantial form as that easement attached here to is Exhibit A, providing for instructions to the city clerk, providing for adoption of representation, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the city manager. Item 11.16, a resolution of the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing the city manager to execute utility easement agreement with the city of North Miami Beach attached here to as Exhibit A and B, provided for adoption representation, provided for an effective date. This is sponsored by the city manager. Item 11.17, a resolution of the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing the utilization of National Joint Powers Alliance, aka Sourcewell, agreement for the city manager to negotiate and execute that certain agreement with Enterprise Fleet Management Services respectively, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by the city manager. Item 11.18, a resolution of the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, amending the approved outside council list to include Stephen W. Zelkowitz of the Fox Rothschild LLP, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by the city attorney, and that's your consent agenda.
I need a motion on the consent agenda.
Motion.
Second it.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Consent agenda passes.
All right, we are now on to the reports of the city manager, city attorney, and city clerk.
Mr. Manager,
Mr. Vice Mayor, I have no report.
What happened
Madam
to this?
Attorney.
What happened to 13-1? We no longer
we
have
did it
that?
already.
We take, that item was tabled.
Oh, yeah,
Took it out of
okay.
turn.
Right, okay.
I have no report.
Mr. Clerk.
The only report that I have is I want to thank city managers, city attorney, and both of their staffs, and also the city council for going ahead and working on this new agenda management software. I'm glad that the city council has agreed to go paperless, the goal is to go paperless, and I thank staff and the city attorney's office and the city manager for supporting me on this project. I appreciate everybody in this room.
We appreciate it.
We thank you.
We
I
still
forgot one
having a
thing.
rough time with these things.
And then I have another report.
No, you don't.
And also, I would like to express my appreciation and gratitude for the council passing the item under consent for me, the city attorney, and city manager. We appreciate you guys.
That's what we were waiting for.
Vice Mayor.
Definitely
We
waiting
thought
for.
that was going to be first. But anyway.
Our oversight should.
We were having a conversation about the item. I apologize. But I also want to express my appreciation to the
Likewise.
council. I really
Well
appreciate it.
deserved.
Thank you.
Definitely well deserved.
I don't know about that. But anyway.
Councilman Nigodaro.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Just to make clear, during the budget conversation, actually before about a month or two ago, I talked about the idea of recording the council meetings via televised infrastructure. But I haven't talked to the city manager during my budget briefing today. He had given me the options of what it's going to cost. We looked at one, the full-fledged televised meetings. That would be too cost prohibitive. We looked at internet streaming. That's also cost prohibitive. And the last one, through the audio feed, because of the new technology that we've acquired, that we're going to be able to consolidate recording of the meetings. Is that correct, Mr.? That will not be of any cost to the city?
Good evening, Craig Clay, Deputy City Manager. That's correct, Councilman Nigodaro.
Okay, through the Vice Mayor. And this is going to self-implement, right? How do we?
Yes, we are testing tonight's meeting with our audio feed, and we will test again on the September 25th meeting with hopes of going live at the October 9th meeting.
Awesome. One more thing. I know we didn't talk about the special events, in particular the programs that each council person hosts. I mean, I know I'm talking specifically about the senior prom. I thought we're going to get the packet that talked about the special allocations to those accounts. Is that in the budget?
Those programs are in the budget. We will make sure that on the 25th, we'll lay it out for you just so you can see it clearly.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Thank you.
Councilman Leon.
Yeah.
Mr. Clay, 1 second. Mr. Williams had a question.
So I'm sort of lost here. With this programming, TV, I thought you all were going to bring something back to the council on that. I thought that was the discussion.
We conducted the research. As the sort of sponsor of the item, we had that conversation with Councilman Negodaro today so that he would have that. There is a memorandum available that lays all of the information out. We will provide that to all the members of the council.
Okay.
It talks about the 3 options.
And he's saying about, so the process now that we're looking at is not going to cost us anything?
No. The software that the clerk was just talking about, the iCompass software that you are using now for your agenda management process, that comes with a piece of software that allows us to do a broadcast over our website and on YouTube Live. Again, we are testing it tonight to see how it works with closed captioning and things of that nature, which are required. We are hoping to, no later than October 9th, make that live and available on our website and through YouTube Live.
Did we look at what any other municipalities and cities are doing to broadcast their meetings?
We looked at several of them, and we also tapped into organizations such as the Public Relations Society of America to look at what they suggested and what other people have experienced. We looked at 4 other local cities. We tried to get information on viewership. Most of the cities did not have it. One city did. We analyzed, we worked with them also to try to analyze cost and just talk to them about their experiences with broadcasting.
All right, thank you.
And so again, if this works out, it'll be available to our residents on our website and on YouTube.
That's correct. Good.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Clay. Councilman Leon.
Good evening. I just want to thank the city manager and the city attorney for getting me prepared with my first budget hearing. Also, the work that you guys do in our agenda meetings that we have. A lot of times you don't see me asking questions because we have an agenda meeting before every agenda where we thoroughly go through and review, and that's the time and place where we get a lot of our questions answered. So I just want to thank you publicly for that.
Thank you.
And City Clerk for such a wonderful job he's done with this new technology. Also, I'm sorry, last thing, on September 17th and September 26th, there's a public hearing for those of you that have North Miami Beach Water. If you're serviced by North Miami Beach Water, there's a public hearing at their City Hall. Again, that's September 17th and September 26th at 6 p.m. Thank you. That's all.
Councilwoman Wilson.
I would co-sign with Councilman Leon that all of you that are receiving your water bills from North Miami Beach, that you should really make your voices heard at their hearing. I know that we are in a lawsuit with them, but I do think that the public's outcry from our citizenry should be heard loud and clear, and that you guys are really watching them in terms of how this taxation without representation and the raising of to the cap levels, the water of our residents is just such an unfair and a burdensome act. So if you are able to come out and to speak at that public hearing, I would encourage you to do so, and I'm going to make every effort to do the same. Also, I want to just take this time to announce that, you know, myself along with the council women, the commission of women here in the city of Miami Gardens will be sponsoring an event. It's called the We Event. And what it means is that it's the Women's Exposition. And what we have come to see is that there were a lot of ordinary women in Miami Gardens who are doing extraordinary things. And because there were a humble set of women here, they haven't often sought to receive any kind of recognition, any pat on the back, anything that somehow memorializes what it is that they're doing every day because of the heart that is inside, that beats in their chest. And I would ask if anybody in the public would love to come and share with us. It will be on the 28th from 5 to 7 at the Stadium Hotel. You are more than welcome to come and fellowship with us at that time. And I would just ask the members of the committee to please stand. And I want to thank you all for the constant work. All of the members of the Women's Commission are appointed by a member on this council. And they have given tirelessly of themselves, and they continue to do so. So I want to thank you all for all of your work as you are putting on this event. And that ends my comments. Thank you.
Councilwoman Owen.
Stadium Hotel. The 28th. The 28th from 5 until 7. 30-ish.
30-ish. I have several things. One that in August, we did several things. I have some people that I really would like to thank for our Community Day and book bag giveaway. We gave away approximately 300 book bags. And I want to thank the Parks and Rec staff at Buccaneer Park that did a phenomenal job of helping us out. Each year that we do this project and other projects in the city, Janet Coakley has a very faithful Girl Scout group, and she brings them on almost every occasion that we have, and I want to thank you all very much for your help in helping us out at that particular event. Also want to thank Councilman Williams, who came out, and it is I had to leave, so it was my understanding that they really worked him. I want to thank you, Councilman Williams. So I was quite surprised when I got back and they gave me pictures and things where Councilman Williams was, those volunteers had him really working. So I want to thank you for that. Also in August, we had the Elder Financial Abuse Awareness Symposium. We have quite a few attorneys and vendors that were there. But the star of this particular event was our own I call him Ozzy so much I can't remember his last name. What's Ozzy's last name? Diaz. Ozzy was the star of this event, folks, and to the point that the people have been asking for a special workshop with Ozzy Diaz being the star. So I want to thank you for being there. It's the Elder Financial Abuse Symposium that we do each year. And we had over 80 people there. And I've been getting so many calls, Mr. Diaz, that they want you back by popular demand. We have on the 21st of September, there is a women's conference. And one of our favorite citizens is one of our speakers. It's Miss Carol Lawrence. Wave your hand, girl. Miss Carol Lawrence is one of our speakers, and she's going to be at the New Way Fellowship Church on the 21st from 8:30 to 2, Facing Our Fears for Women's Conference. Yes, and I'll be there. On the 26th, the National HIV and AIDS for Aging Awareness Day that we have been doing for the last 7 years, folks, is coming up. And then sadly enough, each year, the stats are going up for 50-plus-year-olds. I need to say that again, just in case the lights didn't hear me. The 50-plus-year-olds, the stats are going up every year for those persons who are affected with HIV and AIDS. So I don't know why we're so quiet about it. I don't know why we have a stigma in attending these kinds of workshops, but we certainly need to be more vigilant in making sure that we get all the information that we can get. Aside from HIV and AIDS aging on that particular day, we're also recognizing National Sickle Cell because the month of September is National Sickle Cell Month, so we will have vendors there. Our vendors are coming from the national level, the state level, and also local. So we're asking you to please be there Thursday, September 26th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Betty T. Ferguson Recreational Center. Thank you, and that closes me out for my report.
You sure you don't have anything else?
Well, let me see.
Mr. Williams.
I have a couple of brief things. First of all, I want to let everyone know that we're having the 3rd annual Women in Law Enforcement, where we're honoring women from law enforcement agencies in Dade and Broward counties. In this 3rd year, it has grown. We're so happy to finally get BSO to participate. So they'll be coming. It's at the Don Schuler. So if you're not doing anything, Thursday, September the 19th at 6 p.m. at Don Schuler's Hotel, we're going to be honoring women there. It's going to be a great occasion. The next thing I want to talk about is, I know at the last meeting over a month ago, we had our Miracle in the Garden. And each year that has grown, we've had to change the name to Miracle in the Garden, but it has grown. And we even found some entertainers that we didn't know were talented. And our police chief and our deputy police chief, they really lit a fire. And we also had another firebird here that I didn't realize, and we're going to talk about her later. But there were some participants in that event, and we want to bring them up now to honor them for their involvement. And if you can just come and stand in the front until I call everyone's name. Pastor Brinker, not here. Pastor Cheeseborough.
Just stand. Yeah, just stand there.
Lori Clinch. Minister is Sosa. Did I get that right? Alice Walker. Not here. And did I miss anyone? So if council, we can come down and take a picture with them right quick. Okay.
I'll be quick. You guys, they're gonna come down, but I just have one report, and then I'm gonna join this meeting, close out this meeting, and we'll be down there to
Take pictures with you guys. Okay.
Hold on, I have one other report too. One other thing.
Well, go ahead and do your report. Because when we come down here, we get down here.
Okay. No.
Let him sit on the
Yeah.
front.
So this next person that we want to give a special warm recognition to is one of our own, Councilwoman Wilson. If she can come out front.
Oh, yeah, you gotta sing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, go down front. He's not playing, you gotta sing a song. No, you gotta sing for your meal.
Oh, amen. Okay.
And we have a special award for you here.
It's so nice.
You're talking about the wonderful occasion. We're going to come down and pick pictures up.
I really don't have a report. I really don't have a report. I just want us to make sure we keep the people of the Bahamas in our hearts and our prayers. And if there's anything that we can do to assist them with their rebuilding, we need to do so. I also want to take this opportunity to wish this young man a happy, happy birthday, Mr. Melvin Bratton.
Wow.
So could all the residents
Young
join me in saying
man.
happy birthday to Mr. Bratton? We wish you a wonderful 25-year-old birthday.
I know you're right.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't do this. Kevin, can you come out here, please? I want you to be front and center, bro. I've had some great assistants since I've been a council person here in the city of Miami Gardens. Kevin is not only my assistant, but he's the assistant to everybody.
I know you're right. Because it's definitely mine.
Because I call sometimes and I'm torn because I'm saying, well, this guy's supposed to be working for me.
I know.
But he's gone to the bushes over here with this guy. He's gone with Miss Odom to pick up stuff.
That's for sure.
You know, and the other council members and the mayor utilizes his service, and I just want to let him know that we are all grateful for what you do for not only us here on this dais, but for the residents of this community.
Yeah. It's the staff of the year.
Yeah. That being said, I need a motion to adjourn this meeting. Motion. Been motion been moved and seconded. Meeting adjourned.
All right.